poor. So I feel like a lot of black women are viewed as either like they're just really evil, even men to be fair, or they're just ruthless.
I'm really sorry that that's something that you've had to experience. That's not something anyone should.
And like in the pub, for example, that's one. I was in the pub and then like I was walking behind this guy and this guy like jumped and then kind of like just jumped and then looked at me and then he moved away quite fast and I was kind of like okay. So it's like it's a bit weird how when you're in a different place in Sheffield, there's more of racism than there is in different ones.
And what do you think has been the impact of different kinds of exclusion on you? For example, how did it feel to not really be listened to by the doctors?
It's kind of like, I don't know, I'm not too sure.
If you
I feel like a lot of my feelings have always stemmed from family issues. So me coming out of them family issues, everything else that has happened it's not like being nothing. I don't know really. It's kind of just the same feelings I've always felt. So it's kind of hard to explain. Like how I felt after that. I mean, it's kind of just like being ignored.
Yeah.
Feeling ignored and kind of like, why isn't this person sorting out their life? That's how I feel when I'm talking to them sometimes, and it's kind of like, that's not the point.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for sharing that with me. It's not a nice feeling to have to revisit. So now we're going to move on to the next part of the questions, which is talking about kind of power and voice. So can you tell me whether or not you feel that you have power over decision-making processes that affect your life? For example, that could be decisions about your life specifically, like the care you receive or the support you receive. And it can also be the bigger decisions, like ones that politicians make for all of us.
So what's the question?
Sorry. So the question is, do you feel like you have power over decisions that affect your life?
No, I think the only decision I have is deciding if I want to work or not.
Yeah,
that's really about it.
And can you tell me about what has made you feel like you don't have any power? Are there any examples of feeling like choices were made for you between adults, but you weren't consulted with, or?
Just maybe in the predicament I'm in. So because of the predicament I'm in, there's a lot of like limits you can't cross and things like that. So there's not a lot of options you can really and truly choose. So therefore that's where, the force of the government and things, that's where they come in place. And it's like, well, why would they say no to this and why would they say no to that? And it kind of just puts you in a situation. Whereas other people may live with their parents and they have so many choices because they're not really like under the government's wing. So it is very different. And being under the government's wing at such a young age is very like, oh my days, I need to grow up so fast. And so it's,
Yeah. And in terms of kind of broader decision making, politics in general, do you feel engaged with that, or like you have the power to affect change?
No, I don't really. I don't really see. I'm not really like into all of that, so I kind of don't really know much on.
That's fine. And can you tell me a bit about a time where you do feel like you felt you have power, or you've had voice and you've been heard?
Doing a care job.
And can you tell me a bit about why that was?
Because like obviously when you're looking after somebody, your opinion is very much heard, because that person wants their life a little bit easier because I'm there to support them. So like if I'm telling them, or you know, you might find it easier doing it this way, they'll like be like, oh yeah, that's so true. So it's like you're being heard, you're helping someone, and I think that's the one place I feel heard, is caring for people.
That's fantastic that you have a caring job.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it makes you feel rewarded.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And so thinking about kind of what we've spoken about, and some of the challenges that you've faced in your life, if you could wave a magic wand, and make the world a better, more inclusive place for girls and young women, who've had similar experiences to you, what are the kind of things that you would wish for?
I just wish for like, you know, I just wish for a better like housing situation for everyone. You know, make it available, make it more easier for people. Like there's so many women nowadays that, you know, are getting caught pregnant, and it's so hard for them to find a house, you know, even going down to the, so maybe, you know, they've moved out of their own home and moved in with another family member, but that family member is really like, you know, got problems themselves. Like, I just think it's really hard to get your own place and feel secure and safe. You know, there's women out there now that are pregnant or going through the same thing, and under a roof they don't feel safe in. And I just feel like that's where the government doesn't really understand and doesn't really care, because really and truly the people that have got money and, you know, are very much fortunate to be living in these grand a month houses, like they're the ones, you know, the government really truly looks at them and thinks, oh well, they're doing really well, so we'll help them, but they're comfortable enough. So yeah, I think that's one thing I would change, is if people are in difficult predicaments, kind of look into that and understand why they think how they do and things like that. Because I think it always determines on how a person thinks, you know. Going into a depressive state is so much easier nowadays, and I think that's what I would like to prevent.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's like such an important change that you've outlined. No, thank you for sharing that with me. And is there anything else you'd like to add? If you can shake the wand one more time, is there anything else that you would wish for women and girls?
To have more like space for each other, you know, like, you know, a youth good for girls, and a gym, you know, like a spa place for, you know, like when women go swimming, just for girls, because some women are very, you know, they're insecure and they feel like the men just look at them and groom on. It's just things like that. Like, I just think just little places, I think it'll like open women up more and start talking more.
Yeah, that's a brilliant idea. And do you have any spaces like that in your life? Where
No, not really. Just my home. Just my house.
Well, that's important. That's at least you've got your safe space at home.
Yeah.
It would be amazing if there were more youth clubs that were
women only things. Yeah.
Yeah, accessible to girls. And is there anything else that you'd like to add? Is there anything that schools could be doing to include?
I think schools, yeah, I think a big thing for schools is putting in there like how to deal with financial things, and, you know, trying to, because I feel like me personally, I wish I learned in school about how to do things financially. If I ever was in a predicament in a relationship where I was dealing, well, which I have been, you know, in a domestic abuse, like how to go and find that help and things, because, you know, you literally, some parents don't really understand it. So you'll go home and you'll stay at your boyfriend's house and he's beating you up and you don't know what to do. Whereas school, if they started bringing that in and teaching that, you know, that person, that child, you know, the girl or the man will start to understand and be like, this is wrong, this isn't right. You know, not every parent's perfect, but if you go to school and allow schools to start bringing that in, children will be more like awake to things and understand things. And, you know, even making money, that could be another one, you know. I don't
Yeah.
think